Vaibhav. I'm glad to be back after almost 2 weeks, and straight away we will be getting back to the development of the algorithm using the Visual JForex platform. In today's session, I will be explaining to you the use of indicator block named Waddah Attar trend. This is a trend finding indicator which can be utilized to trade with the trend. I will explain to you how this indicator works and how we can implement the strategies developed using this indicator with the help of the Visual JForex platform. So here is the indicator block included under the trend classifications. Now we are going to see its utility and implementation. In prior sessions, we had seen the use of these indicator blocks: Fibonacci pivot point, normalized average true range, trend envelopes. Now it's the turn of the Waddah Attar trend. So straight away we head to the Visual JForex board developed by the Dukascopy Bank SA. Here you will find this indicator block listed amongst the trend following indicators. So here it is, right at the bottom, the fourth of these blocks. And we have to define these input parameters depending on which we will get the output value. And for initializing the trade setup, we have to use any of the start point. Any one of the start point will do. You can utilize on candle, on tick, or trade event as per your requirement. For today's session, I will be using the trade event as our start point. Then comes the question of the functionality. I will not really go into the details of how this indicator is calculated for us. That job will be done by the system, and even I tried to look for the formula, but I didn't really get the required explanation. And for us, as I said, the calculation and its utilization will be based on the automated setup. So we will not really go into the technicals of how it is calculated. Here, to find the indicator, all you have to do is do the indicator quick search, type Waddah, and you will find it. Now coming to its utility, we can use these values to see how the trend is developing in the underlying instrument. Any of the instrument of your choice can be utilized. For example, if you want to work with the Euro-USD, that is the default instrument in most of the cases. If you want to work with any other instrument which is supported on the Visual JForex platform, you can do so. So you have to take the instrument of your choice for which you want to design and develop the algorithm, and it will work great. Now, for today's session, we will be utilizing the USD JPY as the instrument of our choice. And to see how we can use this indicator, you have to observe this charting, and from the observation, it becomes clearer that to trade with the trend, we have to see how the output values for the Waddah Attar trend are being plotted on this chart. And for classification, whether the underlying instrument is trading in the bearish territory or bullish territory, we have to keep track of these values, the output values, and as long as the value is above 0, it is considered as bullish. If the value is below 0, that is indicative of the fact that underlying momentum is now turning bearish. Sometimes it happens that values keep shifting from bullish to bearish territory, and this is also one of the drawback, or you can say shortcoming, of the indicator. But no indicator is perfect, and we will have to live with it. But apart from that, this indicator is fairly useful, and we can utilize this indicator to go for initiation of the new orders whenever the trend change happens, whenever the momentum shifts from bearish to bullish or from bullish to bearish. We can look for the opportunities to go with the trend, and to that extent the indicator is good enough. Now let's head back to the Visual JForex board. As I said, we have to define these input parameters. The first input parameter is the default instrument. As I said, we can keep EURUSD as it is or take any instrument which is listed amongst this. And for today's session, we will be utilizing the USD JPY as our instrument of choice. So let us find USD JPY where it is. Sometimes it becomes an exhausting job as we might miss it in this long list. So again, slowly, where it is. Oh. We are right back at the top, but we couldn't find. The search option would have made the job much easier, but we don't really have that option. We have to see that particular instrument amongst all these long listed instruments and find it. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we have changed the instrument. Now used GPY is the instrument of choice. Coming to the time period of the candlesticks. Now this is the default value, but as I said, while defining the input parameters, we have to see what kind of input parameters will increase the probability of making or finding the profitable trades. So to that extent, these time parameters is dependent on your choice, whether you want to go for the scalping opportunities or whether you want to go for swing trades or long-term trades. This parameter needs to be defined accordingly, and you will have the trade opportunities accordingly. So here now I have made this of 15 minutes, and you will see the trend being changed uh, as per the price action developing on the 15 minutes time frame. Here we have this bullish turning point after first this bearish development, then came the bullish trajectory. So this indicator, if we use the lower time frame, will be helpful in finding the scalping opportunities, and there is no perfect single parameter with the uh, in term of time, and whether you want to use the 15 minutes or 4 hourly, it's purely as per your trading plan. Now this time period is of 4 hours, and you will see that depending on the price moves, we get this plotting, what are the trend plotting, and you will see that we will be getting the trades accordingly. So for today's session, I think hourly is good enough. In hourly parameters also, you will see the trend being good enough for short term, and if you want to go for the longer term trends, then 4 hourly or daily will be much better suited. For example, if you take the daily time frame, then you can see that whenever the trend change has been indicated by these indicator block, the following sessions mostly, not every time, but mostly have traded accordingly. So for swing trades, I would prefer to use this longer time frame plotting. Now let us change it back to the hourly setup. We are going to change this parameter to hourly. Yeah, I will change it. Shift is the look back period, whether you want to take into account the current output value or you want to go back in time and retrieve the prior values. This parameter helps you precisely do that, and if you are using the current values, then you don't have to do anything. let it remain as it is. But suppose, for example, you want to do the comparison, you want to see how this plotting is changing with the price action, whether the what are the trend values, output values are going up or whether going down, and you want to do comparison to find out, then you will have to utilize the shift parameter. Suppose if you want to retrieve the value 3 candlestick periods back, then you have to use the shift parameter defined at 3, and you will get the output value for that particular time period, and then you can do the comparison by taking multiple Waddah trend blocks and keep all the other parameters the same, only change these shift parameters, and you will be able to do the comparison over the period of time. Output values, we get two output values, one is the value and another is the zero value, and here also you will see we have these two output parameters, and zero value is mostly not used. One of the most critical component of these indicator is the values output, and mostly we rely on it if the value is pointing to the positive territory, that is it is above 0, then as I said we consider it to be bullish, and if the value is below 0 it is negative, then that is considered bearish. So we can use these output parameters to define how the trend is developing, and accordingly we can look for the trading opportunities. We also have to be mindful of these two other parameters which are included in the settings part. We will have slight difference depending on the offer side, whether it is bid or ask. That is because spread, and the spread is there, and we have to be mindful to make sure that if we are doing the comparison, the offer side should be the same. Coming to the applied price also has a huge impact on how the output values for these indicator will behave. So here you will find this applied price option. We don't really have that option on the JForex platform, but on the Visual JForex platform that option is given to us, and we have to be careful. If we want to use the closing price, then each candle's closing price will be taken into consideration for plotting of these Waddah trend. And if we use for example the high price or the low price or the opening price, then the calculation will be done as per that applied price. So we have to see which parameter is going to be better for us, and there is no universal choice. You have to choose after observing, after running the test, and see how the results come up, and depending on that you can make your informed choice. So that's it for today's session from my side.